What's up, everybody? It's your boy Walking Mandu, and welcome back to another episode of Wrenchtrenchers Garage. Today, well, as you can see, sorry about the smoke lingering in the air. I was vaping. Anyway, the engine is at this stage right now. I went ahead and just threw the valve covers on just for now. It's just kind of just like another little mock-up. I'm almost ready to put this thing in the car, man. I was getting ready to put the engine mounts on, but I discovered a little issue here. If you can see that right there, well, there's a big huge crack in there. I don't know how that even happened. I didn't see it when I was spraying, but nevertheless I'm gonna have to fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and straighten that out, grind it back, and then I'm gonna have to go ahead and just weld that up, and it should stay just fine. It's pretty tough on there. It's not going anywhere. It's not really loose or nothing, but it is cracked. And I do not want any issues that way. So I'm going to go mess with this a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and weld that up. And I'll be back. Alright guys, so here's my little repair. I went ahead and ground it down because my welds are really ugly. But as you can see, it's got pretty good penetration there. I went ahead and threw some paint on there, even though it's still hot. I don't really care. It just wanted paint on it. But yeah, you can see kind of how ugly that weld is. But it patched it up. It'll work just fine. I welded on both sides just to make sure, because there was still a crack through there, so I welded both sides. And you know what? I think it's going to hold just fine. So, I'm going to go ahead and stick these on, and then we're going to keep going. So, see you in a bit. Alright, you can see at this point, we have our motor mounts on. So that's good. And we are about to start cleaning up the headers just a little bit. I was thinking about painting them with some of that flame-proof paint, but I don't know. It'll probably just burn off and then it'll look crappy later. So I think I'm just going to clean up the flanges and then throw the new bolts on there. And we'll have our headers on, because those things are a pain. They're a pain to put on while they're in the car. Alright guys, so what you see here is the exhaust manifold back off because this aluminum head, it's really bad on threads, and if you put the bolt in there wrong, it strips them out. Now I got lucky, I stripped the first couple of threads on this one, but the back threads are fine, so I'm using a stud on there. But the fact of the matter is that these are really, really difficult to get to. They're really hard to deal with. When you try to use a regular bolt, it's hard to get tools in there. It's just a massive, massive headache. So the idea now is to go ahead and grab studs from the store, which isn't open because it's late. So I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow, and then just stud both sides of this thing, and I should be able to put everything on with like a regular wrench. So at that point, I might just have to call it for tonight. Unfortunately, the engine isn't going in the engine bay tonight. I was hoping it would, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen tonight, folks. So I guess the next move now is to just go inside and have a drink. So I finally got the headers complete. I know I'm using high heat RTV. It's not the best route, but I do have a gasket in there. But it should hold up. I've seen race cars. I've seen people with race cars use this stuff. But the only reason why I'm using it is because there was some gaps in some of these after I had done this, and I don't have the money or the time or the patience to go and have all of these flanges resurfaced. So yeah, so what I did, like I said, stud nut combination, it worked way better than trying to fiddle bolts in these little tight little areas where I couldn't just get any type of tool in there, like these. Some stuff, it just, look at that, like look how tight that is against that thing, and you cannot put your hands, you see, it's just such a small area. You can't put anything in there. So it was really difficult to get this done, even out of the vehicle. Now the little story I want to tell you about this vehicle is that at one point I had to do the header gaskets on this vehicle a long time ago. Supposed to be maybe an hour job at most. It ended up taking 8 hours, and we still couldn't get the last bolt in. We had to take it somewhere where the guy spent 20 minutes just doing one bolt. So that just goes to show how difficult this set of headers is to deal with. He doesn't want to buy any new ones. I can't really blame him, but at the same time, they're a pain in the ass to deal with. That's why I decided to put them on outside of the car, make sure I got it right. And then I changed to a nut and stud combination because I was having trouble just getting the bolts in because they were stripping threads. I couldn't get my hand in there. The bolts are teeny and fiddly. With this, stick the studs on there, slide the thing on, crank them down with nuts and a lock washer, and that was it. I guess I can go ahead and start putting this thing up on the crane, kind of get it centered in here. And I took the Z out, hopefully that I would be done yesterday, so I can have the Z back in here with the engine and everything out of the way because it's in the car. But no, it had to stick around a little bit, and then it snowed, so now there's snow all over my Z. Anyway, let's keep going. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, it's the following day. I'm back at this part again. Unfortunately, as you can see, I did not get the engine back in the engine bay last night because there was a few little things that needed to get done first. The first thing is, well, I needed a clutch alignment tool, and unfortunately I don't have one. This is the one for the Supra. So obviously that's not going to work. But I went to a bunch of different stores, and nobody had it. Like the one thing that I thought everybody would have, nobody has. But the stuff that I didn't think I would be able to get today on a Saturday, everybody had it. Well, not everybody. The place I went actually had it. I was able to get the flywheel resurfaced, which was cool. Like I had done on a Saturday when the place closed early. They said if I can bring it within, I guess, the hour, they would do it, and I managed to get there. And they resurfaced it, and it was done. Throwout bearing, Speed Shop had it. It was a little expensive, but they had it. The guy paid for it. Cool. I got that. But the one thing that I thought everybody would have, which is the clutch alignment tool, nobody had. So what I'm gonna do is I got the old transmission with the correct spline on it, and the idea was to rebuild this thing and maybe have a Jeep transmission. But I was also thinking maybe I could cut it off here. I can just cut that spline off and then just use that as the tool. But I don't want to do that. So it looks like I'm going to preemptively, or before I'm ready, break down this transmission. I'm going to have to take a bunch of pictures and stuff just to make sure I put it back the right way, because I do want to rebuild it and I do want to use it, because it would be great to make it up to a 302 and stick in Pedro. But I didn't say that. Anyway, yeah, so I guess the idea now is to go ahead and throw this on my little makeshift table here, and I'll go ahead and tear that bad boy down and see if I can't get the shaft out of it, and then use that thing for my alignment tool, and then I guess put this whole thing to the side or put it in a box or something until I'm ready to build it. So that's the plan now. I'm going to go ahead and throw you guys on the time lapse for that. See you in a bit. Alright guys, well you can see I got the spline shaft out, and that ought to fit in there like it should. So I can line this thing up using just that, which makes a great tool because it's perfect for it. Oh, and you can also see right in here, yeah, you can see the damage on the first gear fins for this old transmission. But it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the table off. And the next thing I'm going to do is clean this guy up. It's got, you know, it got a little bit of water on there, so I got a little surface rust. So I'm just going to kind of scour that down a little bit. Nothing serious. I'll probably go ahead and scuff this down too, throw some paint on it. Also this here, probably just throw some rust reformer and some paint on there, nothing serious. Get that all out the way, and then I can start putting together that thing. So I'll be back. Alright guys, so here's the pressure plate. I got it all nice and cleaned up. Told you it wasn't that bad, just a little surface rust. It's still got a little bit of, you know, thingies in there, but it's actually really smooth, and by the time it starts engaging and doing its thing, it'll clean up. It's fine. It'll work just fine. Now here's the cool thing. Check that out. Ooh, a perfectly brand new machined flywheel. So I took this over to the machine shop and they resurfaced it for me. It looks terrific. Now there's still a bunch of oil. See, that oil is on there from the cutting. So that's okay. I also went and got a brand new throwout bearing. This is one of the pieces that I was having some concerns about because of the splitting right here. And it's kind of warped and there's some splitting going on over here. But the machine shop assured me that it's fine. So just bang it back straight as I can with a hammer. And if I'm really concerned about the splits, he said just throw some JB Weld in there and it'll be fine. Stick it back in there. So I believe him. He's never steered me wrong before. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bang this straight a little bit Then throw some JB Weld on some of these cracks here. Clean the rest of this stuff up. Clean this up here, get the oil off of it. And I can go ahead and install the new bearing, which goes right in this clutch fork. I'll probably clean that clutch fork up a little bit because it's really grimy and dirty. And yeah, all the parts should be clean. And you know what? I didn't think I was going to be able to put this engine in tonight, but it might happen. I might be able to put this thing in tonight. It's a day later than I expected, but at least I know I have everything I need to do so. So yeah, hooray for me. Going back on the time lapse. Alright, so I put this thing on the floor, banged it out as flat as I could, and you know what? I think it's going to be fine. Oh, Chuck was right. I might throw something in there, but I think it's going to be just fine. I think I'm going to go ahead and just rock with it just like this. And all I needed was the separation for the starter, and I think that's okay. Maybe a few more taps with the hammer, and I think we're good. So cool. Alright, so I don't think I mentioned this the first time, but as you can see right there, that is a brand new rear main seal. The old one's over here. It's the old one. Here's the new one. Yeah, it took all like 5 minutes. So, good stuff. So I guess we can go ahead and start assembly? Shit, cool. Okay guys, here we are. I have the front pulley on for the supercharger. I have the clutch fork and the new bearing in. I have the pressure plate on. And now you probably saw in the thing when I put this on, if the battery didn't cut out too soon, that I actually forgot to put the separator plate on. So I had to take it off and do it again. Didn't take long, wasn't that serious. Wifey was nice enough to come out and help me out. So that's all done. And now I'm just getting ready to mate this thing to the transmission. So what I did was I placed it up on some blocks here. And with the blocks being placed up, I have the transmission up just high enough, hopefully, to clear some of the parts. So I have it up high enough to where I can jack up the engine enough to where I can put it on the input shaft without scraping up the bottom of the flywheel. So yeah, just in case you guys need to know any torque specs, the torque specs for the flywheel on a 302 Ford Mustang engine, that is 90 foot-pounds, and the clutch pressure plate is 25 foot-pounds. And if you have a spare input shaft laying around like I did, which was really, really nice, and or you have a spare transmission, hey, just open that sucker up and grab the input shaft out of that and use it as a tool. Now, mind you, it's heavy, so you have to hold it so you don't damage nothing. So that's just my little tip, and I'm gonna go ahead and start this time lapse, and hopefully you guys don't see me mess up real bad trying to make this thing together. So yeah, here we go. folks, looks like we did it. The mating of the transmission to the engine is here. I don't think there's any problems. I don't think I binded it. I think it's fine. All the bolts went in really easy, drew it together. And you know, pretty happy about it. Look at that, check this out. Whoop. Even the transmission works good. There's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. Oh yeah. I think we're in good shape, man. I think we're in good shape. Pretty happy about it. Things seem to be a-okay so far. Alright, so even though this car made me do everything twice, even mating the transmission, I had to do it twice. But fact of the matter is, it's done for that. And maybe we can get this thing in here tonight. We'll see what happens. Yo, what's up everybody? We're back. And guess what we have? We got Teggy G. We got Prime Wicked Wrench Time. And we have
Rallo.
We got Rallo. This is the little brother of Prime Wicked Wrench Time. And as you can see, we have an engine about to go in this Mustang. So let me go ahead and get this stabbed in there. See you in a bit. Hey guys, it is the following day and I'm going to have to end this video right here. I want to send a special thanks to Teggy G, Prime Wicked Wrench Time, and his younger brother Rallo. Thanks so much guys for coming out and helping me out and getting this engine set in the engine bay. And I know you've seen it before, but you guys you need to feast your eyes on this thing right here. Look at that. It looks awesome. Sitting in that engine bay all pretty and shiny. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah man, so that's what we got. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget my Zazzle store. You know where the link in the link is in the description below. So you guys go ahead and click on that and get yourself some merch. So thank you guys once again. Don't forget, keep wrenching and wrench out. Peace.